Well, as a longtime Tonight Show staffer, I thought I could share a unique point of view for the American culture from an insider's bird's eye view of The Tonight Show. The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson is the blueprint for so many late night talk shows that are on today, that Carson was like the Rolls Royce with a Ferrari engine. Well, as most people know, Johnny was a very private person, and I think, though, if he were here, he would enjoy this book. It would have shown him an inside view of his show that even he didn't get to see. I think he would also be surprised at how much his staff really loved him. He treated his staff with the utmost of respect, and in appreciation of that, we all went the extra mile to make his show the best talk show we could produce on television. I can tell you that I had my drum stolen one time, and Johnny heard about it, and he met me in the hallway, and he said, you know, I have a set of drums if you'd like to use it. And it turned out that was a set of drums that his friend, Buddy Rich, gave to him. And when I went to give them back to Johnny, he said, why don't you just keep it as a second drum set, which I did. And I'd bring it to the show every time that Buddy Rich was on after that, so Buddy would play on them. I still have that drum set today, and I bring it out whenever I can, for special occasions, of course. And I think that the drum set actually has like some magical feeling to it, that I think the spirits of both Johnny Carson and Buddy Rich are still with that drum set. I was roommates with Johnny's son, Corey, and one day Johnny called at the apartment that we were at looking for Corey, and suddenly I pick up the phone. Now, I wasn't working on the show yet, but suddenly there's Johnny Carson's voice at the other end of the phone. And I was like taken by surprise, and I was even taken more by surprise when I told him who I said, this is Don Sweeney, and he said, yes, I know. That blew me away, that Johnny Carson knew my name, and I wasn't even working for him yet. Oh, several times I thought of tying Ed Shaughnessy up, but I did have to fill in once or twice, and I didn't have to tie Ed up. Jay Leno, he's probably one of the nicest guys in show business. He tries to be that way. He goes the extra step to try and be that way. But a lot of times, Jay has other people making decisions for him, and I think he's had to pay the price for it. Well, number one, my contract was up, but the other thing was that Branford had left the show. They changed band leaders again, and that's just the way it goes. That's show business. That was kind of tough. Every day was bizarre, and we didn't know whether or not we had jobs or not. It was episodic, tense, and it was sometimes a nightmare. I would say the one about Don Rickles. My brother refinished his kitchen, and the story reads like an episode of I Love Lucy. Well, one of the funniest moments I can remember, and I'm sure you've seen it, was when Johnny went across the hall to Don Rickles filming his CPO Sharkey show. It was exciting for all of us in Studio 1, and it was even more exciting for the people in Studio 3 that didn't know Johnny was going to walk through the door. There was one night that I can definitely remember. Just as Ed McMahon was saying, here's Johnny, somebody ran out of the audience, down the steps of the audience, right past the cameraman, and as they opened the curtain for Johnny to come out, he ran into it. Luckily, one of the stagehands, the guy who pulls the curtain, saw the guy running and held Johnny back. They just tackled the guy backstage, and Johnny came out and did his monologue. If you were watching the show at home that night, even if you were in the studio audience, you wouldn't have noticed that there was any kind of a glitch in the action, and Johnny didn't even mention it. Gee, I sure hope not. I'm still hoping to get invited to a trip to the moon someday. But I've worked with so many of the great American icons, and even knew some of them as friends, I'd say it was many dreams come true. In 1992, Friday, May 22nd, I had been with the show for 16 and a half years. I was one of the young guys on the show, but on Monday, May 25th, I became the old man on the show that everybody who was hired onto the Leno show seemed to be fresh out of college and everything. For me, it was an immediate reality check. Of course, I felt very sad. Kind of knew it was coming because of the emphysema, and he had been sick before that. My first feelings were just terribly sad that somebody I really loved was never going to be back on television again. And luckily, we have all of the best of the Tonight shows and things on DVD that we can go back and look at anytime we want. Well, television has changed quite a bit. It's all about ratings. And there's a lot of rejection that you'll face along the way. But if you have a lot of passion for television like I did, stay with it. And someday you might be the next Johnny Carson, Peter LaSalle, or Fred DeCordova. Well, that depends on how well the book does. No, absolutely. Today, I produce live concerts in the LA area. I still perform with my SRO big band, and I'm a freelance video editor and cartoonist, and now I'm an author.